Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of ROM editing. It is your boy Lil Hill. If you haven't seen this series before, we are essentially making a new ROM, or technically a ROM with edits, in which we make all the Gen 3 Pokemon viable. We're still dealing with physical and special split because I couldn't find a ROM with that specific file. So we're just adapting that physical special split to all the Pokemon, but making a lot of Pokemon that are typically unusable in Gen 3 more usable. Right now we're going through the first 151, so we can at least get some test trials going through and going from there. If you're interested in the tools, I have them in the description. Previously we left off with Executor, so we are moving on with Cubone today. So for Cubone, I think it already had an ability in Rockhead. We added a secondary ability in Pressure. Obviously, Cubone is really good because of its Thick Club item. Then looking at its moves, Bone Club early on, Headbutt, Double Kick, getting some Fighting Stab, some covered in Rock Tomb. Then getting Shadow Punch early on at 25, eventually getting Shadow Sneak. Bone Meringue, which we decided to make its like signature move. Typically Bone Meringue is bad. I think it's essentially worse Earthquake, so we decided to up it to be base 120, including both hits, or each hit is 60 base power, and having 90 accuracy, so it's a little bit stronger Earthquake, and then Double Edge to work well with its Rocket ability. Then looking at Marowak, we of course had to make Marowak Ground Ghost, and then giving it access to some priority in Sneak, Bulldoze, Ice Punch, give it some coverage, Ice Punch, Poison Jab, better fighting type move, but overall Shadow Punch is going to be its best ghost type move, and also just makes sense. I mean, we don't really want to give Marowak Shadow Ball if it doesn't make sense, so and then the other moves are that. I don't believe we really changed the stats because already also, what does it look like shiny? Nope, doesn't look like a ghost type. But obviously Ground Ghost is coming from the lore of like the Mother Marowak died and the whole thing with the Lavender Town thing. So looking at stats, I don't think we really changed anything yet because it's already pretty strong with Thick Club. Moving forward, I guess we have to jump to Tyrogue first. That is the baby, and we did include the baby. Has Guts, and we decided to give it level 1 Double Kick because normally it's just Tackle, so that one's pretty easy to go over with. I think Hitmonlee's next. We gave it Limber ability, not bad. Double Kick, Rolling Kick, a lot better coverage, Aerial Ace, Bulldoze, Brick Break, Blaze Kick, which obviously makes a lot of sense, Rock Slide, Jump Kick, Mega Kick, and then High Jump Kick. So getting essentially all the kick moves. I'm pretty sure all we did was increase its special attack. Let's see, we dropped special defense and put it in the special attack, and I think we just slightly increased its special attack, so Blaze Kick is a little bit more viable, and that is Hitmonlee. Then we have Hitmonchan with Hyper Cutter, obviously getting Mach Punch, the different elemental punches, so we obviously increased his special attack to 80, and I think we decreased another stat. Could have been special defenses as well, but it gets access to all the punches. Agility, Skyper Punch, Meteor Mash is really good. Comet Punch is a lot better because we did alter it to be 100 base power, 90 accurate, and then Shadow Punch just for some more coverage. And then obviously going over him on top, even though it's not 151, it's connected to Tyrogue and the Chan, so we might as well get this out of the way. Intimidate, standard ability, Rolling Kick, Mach Punch, Fake Out, Triple Punch. We made Triple Kick better. I think it's it starts off 20 base, then the next boon was 30, then 40. So I can't remember if it's 90 or I think it's 90 base now. I'll have to double check that. But then Aerial Ace, Poison Jab, Revenge, Iron Head, and Drill Run for some very nice coverage, but ultimately this Pokemon is more defensive than the other ones, so it makes sense that this one's a little bit lower. Although I think the other one's at 470, so I think we should go ahead and alter this. Pursuit, Shadow Punch, so most of its moves are physical anyway, so I don't think I will increase its special attack. but let's slightly increase its defenses so you really know that it is the bulkier one of the three. And then moving forward, what's after Hitmonchan? We have Lickitung, which we essentially adapted Licky's stats to, which I think it gets a pretty decent buff because it goes from 385 to 515, but Lickitung definitely needed that. And then looking at its moves, you obviously give it Ice Ball Rollout because it's known to have Rollout. Then we give it Knockoff. The punch is Body Slam and Giga Drain, but overall its stats aren't that crazy. It's just a little bit bulky. So yeah, I think Lickitung definitely needed the boost, and I think just go ahead and making Lickitung essentially Licky will make it more viable, but won't still make it like insanely strong. So that was the idea with that. Then we have Koffing with Levitate, Self-Destruct, Ember, Sludge, Will-O-Wisp, Icy Bond, Explosion, blah blah blah. But the most exciting thing about Koffing is that it evolves into Wheezing, which we decided to make Poison Fire. And this also benefits its Levitate ability, and also kind of makes sense because Wheezing naturally gets Flamethrower and Will-O-Wisp. We thought might as well just make it a fire type. So we gave it Sunny Day, Flamethrower, Pain Split, Toxic, just for its same like very good defenses purposes, Explosion, Sludge Bomb, and then Eruption at 62, which is also very, very cool. I don't know how viable it will be just because its speed is so low, but you never know. It's not a bad move. Then looking at Rhyhorn, we still have Ground Rock. I think I switched out one of the abilities. I don't know what the original ability is, but it's now Intimidate and Rockhead. Looking at its moves, Bulldoze, Rock Blast, just some essential rock ground moves, and then Vital Throw for a fighting type coverage move. Then we have Rhydon, same abilities, but this time it's getting Drill Run, Rock Slide, Iron Tail, Drill Peck because of its horn, Earthquake, Head Smash, and Mega Horn. Head Smash obviously to cover for its rocket ability, and Mega Horn for some coverage. So overall, this thing's going to have a lot of good coverage, but the only thing is it's very slow, so that is something that kind of balances it out. Looking at Chansey, we thought Chansey was terrible, but we did switch its special attack and attack to accommodate for its normal typing. I think for its abilities, I don't know if it really changed anything, but looking at its set, Thunder Wave, Cycling Toss, Soft Boiled, Fake Out, just a bunch of support moves. This thing's not really doing any damage. And essentially Blissey is the same thing. So looking at Blissey, we also switched its special attack and attack, so now that the normal type moves will be doing more damage, and it has the exact same moveset as Chansey. And then following Chansey, we have Tangela, which we also buffed Tangela to essentially be Tangros stats, which are obviously very, very strong, because normally Tangela I think is around 4 something. I'd have to check that, but it looks like it's around 100, 200, 315, so it's definitely hitting 400, so it doesn't really get that much of a boost. But in terms of looking at stats, it has really high HP, really high defense, good attack, special attack, low special defense, and low speed. But I think this works well in Gen 3 because most of its weaknesses are fire, ice, are more prominent typings that occur in the game, where this special defense is really weak and it will die pretty quickly. Looking at its moves, we decided to give it Ancient Power, Bulldoze, Leech Seed, Knockoff, Brick Break, Poison Jab, Rock Slide, Giga Drain, and Earthquake. It's pretty known that Tangrowth gets a lot of coverage moves, so we thought having Tangela also get access to those coverage moves would also just make it a very good Pokemon. And lastly, for this episode, we have Kangaskhan, which we decided to give Hustle as its main ability, kept it normal typing, Bite, Dizzy Punch, Fake Out, Bulldoze, gave it Power Up Punch now, so it can start getting +1 boosts, Body Slam, Substitute, Common Punch, which is obviously buffed, Iron Head, and Cross Drop, so a lot more coverage. We may need to buff this thing in the future, at least compared to other Pokemon, but as of right now, Kangaskhan is not a bad mon, and especially with this Hustle ability, it will definitely do a lot of damage, especially Fake Out Hustle combination. So yeah, that is everything for today's episode. Stay tuned for more episodes. I will have a lot coming out, and eventually we will have a pretty thorough game, at least for a practice run, that we will be posting on as well. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.